For updates on sports stories across the globe, Aaron Akirijala brings us this report.
We are live at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium here in Rio, the only stadium that can host international matches as we speak in Nigeria. Quite shameful, quite disgraceful, but it is what it is. Now, let's get into the matter. And the crux of the matter today is supposed to be the fact that the Super Eagles of Nigeria are preparing to take on the Amavubis of Rwanda in a must-win encounter. We can win. We should win, but that will not still guarantee us punching our way through to the World Cup in 2026, because right now we have to play catch-up and pray that a miracle does happen. So the Super Eagles will be taking on the Amavubis on Saturday. The full complement of players were available in high spirit. Eric Shell looked like he knew what he was doing, but we are hoping all this will translate to 3 points here in Nigeria and 3 points in South Africa. Anything short of that, our slender hope goes up in smoke. Now, away from that, let's actually talk about the fact that we are preparing to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. And FIFA has drawn out a timetable. This time around, a bit of lottery and a bit of ticket sale, all wrapped up into the process of getting tickets for the 2026 World Cup that will be hosted by USA, Canada, and Mexico. So they said from the 10th to the 19th, there will be a pre-sale draw. It's some sort of lottery. You have to fill in your application to buy a ticket, and you will be considered. And then it moves on to the early ticket draw that will take place between the 27th and the 31st of October. And the funny part is that the 5th of December is a crucial date, because that is when FIFA in Washington will be announcing the fixtures for the 2026 World Cup. And as at October, tickets will begin to go on sale, but you will not know what you're getting. That's rather unfortunate, but let's see what happens. But they say that by next year, the tickets that haven't been sold after December will be put out there, and resale can also happen. So we're keeping an eye on this very tricky and new system FIFA is adapting for the new World Cup. Away from that to tennis quickly, and let's talk about the fact that one man, Yannick Sinner, made lightweight of Lorenzo Musetti, his compatriot, 6-1, 6-4, 6-2, to punch his way through to the semifinals. And as it stands right about now, he's played all semifinals in the Grand Slam here 2025. And it's looking like it's going to be very, very, very hyped up and tasty, because when you look at the Grand Slam semifinals lineup for Flushing Meadows US Open, Yannick Sinner will be taking on the Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime, while Novak Djokovic would have to battle it out against the relentless Carlos Alcaraz. Let's see if the Spanish matador will once again bulldoze past Novak Djokovic, or this might be the year that Novak Djokovic finally gets that elusive Grand Slam he's been looking for a while right now. For the women and for the WTA, Naomi Osaka had to battle through Karolina Muchova, 6-4, 7-6, to get into the semifinals. She's looking good, playing well, she's in high spirit, and we hope that will translate into massive play, because it doesn't get easier from here, because she'll be taking on Amanda Anisimova. Amanda herself has had to overcome adversity to get to the semifinals, and she'll be hoping this time around she'll put in a good showing, because remember the last time out in the French Open final, it was a disgrace, 6-love, 6-love, and she says she's learned from that. Watching that video has been painful, but it has been very helpful. And in the other semifinals that will be taking place for the women, it will be Arina Sabalenka against Jessica Pegula. And we're looking forward to a very, very interesting and climax and crescendo for the US Open for the year 2025. Before we wrap it up, something exciting is still going on, and that is the fact that the African Union Congress convened a meeting of all the ministers of sports in Africa, and they have resolved that they will support Nigeria's bid to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games. After all, more than half of the continent is in the Commonwealth, and Africa is yet to host a Commonwealth game. But that might be changing very, very soon, because in the next couple of months, Nigeria will be going face-to-face with India, slugging it out to host the 2030 games. And it is looking good for Nigeria. Just maybe, Nigeria might be the first country to host the Commonwealth Games in the history of the Games. Let's get to hear from Shehu Diko talk about this.
We have earlier bidded in 2009 to host the 2014 edition. We couldn't get it. So we are hoping likely maybe this time around we should be able to get the 2030, and we should be able to make Africa very, very proud of that event. And part of our plan for Nigeria, if we can get the 2030, we have already also sent an indication that we'll be ready to host the Africa Games in 2031. That is subject to further conversation. We are thankful. We have been awarded the opportunity to host the Africa Youth Games in 2027, and we are ready to do our best to make sure we deliver a very, very brilliant game for that, for the Youth Games in 2027. I think the final decision on the host for the 2030 will be made by, I think, November 2025. So the system is now seamless. It's just about the bidding evaluation, and then the board and then the Congress will ratify whatever the board is doing. So hopefully we will be able to succeed in that.
That's the much we can actually take today. We're still keeping an eye on the Super Eagles. It is very busy here, but the stadium is ready to host the game on Saturday.
Aaron Akerejola there, live at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in New York, where our Super Eagles will be playing the team from Rwanda on September 6th. And 3 days later, they will be facing South Africa at the Free State Stadium, Bloemfontein in South Africa for the 2026 World Cup, taking place in US, Canada, and Mexico. Nigeria needs to win all the matches if we will qualify. Eric Shaw says he will do it. We'll see.